Take Sergeant Bergdahl. Does anybody remember that name? So this is the way we think. So we get a traitor named Bergdahl, a dirty, rotten traitor. Somebody said the other day, well, he had some psychological problems. Well, you know, in the old days, bing, bong.
Wow, that was candidate Trump. Now he's President Trump. Really pretty much calling that Bowe Bergdahl deserted his base, was kept under lock and key by the Taliban and by the Haqqani network, later freed by the Obama administration when they worked out by diverting Congress and swapped 5 high-value Taliban terrorists at Gitmo for Bergdahl's release. That was back in 2014. Then the details came out, and suddenly the administration was backpedaling, especially Susan Rice, who hopped on the Sunday show to defend the swap. Listen.
Certainly, anybody who's been held in those conditions in captivity for 5 years has paid an extraordinary price. But that is really not the point. The point is that he's back. He's going to be safely reunited with his family. He served the United States with honor and distinction.
Really? Honor and distinction? Well, according to a report from the Associated Press, it just came out about 4 hours ago, Bowe Bergdahl is about to plead guilty formally in a couple of weeks for deserting his base and misbehavior in front of the enemy. Joining us right now for reaction from Miami is Christopher Oprison, a former prosecutor in the Marines. Bowe Bergdahl pleading guilty, does it surprise you?
No. This has been a mess of a case from the beginning, but this is about the right ending. It's taken a long time, though. I was here 3 years ago with Bill O'Reilly talking about the delays in this case and how long it was taken for the investigation. And it's gone through some ups and downs up the Court of Appeals, but finally we're getting some closure on this. I mean, the question is, why do we even care about this guy? I mean, this is not a service member that stood his ground and somehow violated the rules of engagement. This is a guy who got up and left his unit. He walked away. He's a quitter, and he left and he went away. And we sent our service members out there to try to get him back, put him in harm's way. We traded, as you indicated at the beginning, 5 high-value targets, put him back on the battlefield for this guy. It's astonishing.
And at least one is known in 2015 to have gone back to the battle. After all, if you're a high-value Taliban terrorist and you're at Gitmo listed the worst of the worst, what are you going to do as a backup plan? Woodworking? You're going to go back to doing the only thing you know how to do to the people who you were nesting with before. And when our guys are under fire, it might be because of their commands and their structure. Listen, Bowe Bergdahl, he was tortured. The guy was kept in a cage. Nobody wants that for anyone who makes a bad mistake in their life. But the fact that the administration, the previous administration, was that off, thinking that he was going to be lauded as a hero, that they didn't know what everybody else knew, that he put people in harm's way when he left his base, astounds me even today.
Well, that's right, and again, we don't leave anybody behind. But we got the short end of the stick on that bargain. There's no question about it. That was not a smart move. I think it was a political disaster for the prior administration. I think now we're seeing things come full circle in this, and we see this guy for what he is. He's a deserter. He's a quitter. He left his unit, and we paid a big price for that. Now, you tell the service members who are over there fighting, having to go up against these same people on the battlefield, that we got a good end of that bargain. I don't think so. I don't think it's not defensible.
Chris, what also is indefensible, with these 5 guys out, the previous president had a promise. He was going to empty Gitmo and close it. Couldn't do it. We have no place to put these guys. They're the worst of the worst. Right. They go back to the battle in their home countries, want no part of them. This is an example, I believe, of the previous administration doing anything they could to empty out that prison. When we built that prison, because these people have to be taken off the battlefield and to have to be taken away from shooting at Americans. That's what it's for. I'm not sure exactly what President Trump's going to do, but I hope that they're going to be kept in a responsible containment situation wherever it is.
Well, you can't put them in prisons in the middle of New York City. You're not going to put them somewhere in somebody's backyard. Gitmo was the place to put them. That's what it was made for. And we've kept them there for as long as we could. Now, I don't know what the plan is. I'm not part of that discussion. But there doesn't seem to be any good alternatives on the table at this point, I don't think, Brian.
And when you see what we're doing in Africa, when you see that we're really getting back into the fight in Syria and to try to rid ourselves of ISIS. We're going to do these things called capturing terrorists and debriefing them to get maximum intelligence. We got to put them somewhere. And I really don't think there'll be a problem putting them in that prison if it helps keep Americans safe. I think we get the threat. Thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Up next.